Hello to my fellow glorious Gaians. Thank you for joining me, Amber, on my channel Guidance Through Gaia, where I do tarot pick a card readings. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I hope that you find something that resonates with you today. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for giving me another opportunity to read your energy. If you would like a personal reading, I do offer those. My contact information is in the description box down below. Just send me an email and I will send you a list of my services. So today's topic is asking the question, will they reach out? This is open to all kinds of connections and messages. There may be a single message that's more prominent, or there may be multiple messages. If there are multiple scenarios, I will try my best to deliver those as coherently and accurately as possible. So we'll be primarily focusing on the use of tarot with this reading. And if the answer is that yes, this person is likely to message you or call you, contact you in some way, we'll be looking at what the content is of that message, like why they're trying to contact you. If the answer is no, we may look at something like why they are resistant to contacting you. I am also just leaving this a little bit more open to asking different kinds of questions depending on the information that we get. And then at the very end, we'll get some advice, regardless of if the answer is yes or no. So we have, like usual, 3 piles. We have pile number 1 with the pyrite heart. And the, I think it's, what is it? The wise dog tarot? Yeah. We've got pile number 2 with the amethyst. And the, I should have looked at the names again. Oh my God. The Phantom Wise Tarot. So this is the Phantom Wise Tarot. And then pile number 3 with the Rose Quartz. And the Ostara Tarot. I will preface this by saying that while I am just asking this in general, it's a good idea to keep in mind when we are looking at situations that are more close in time to the present day, that's when the messages are going to be most accurate. It also just kind of depends on the consistency of the person, right? So if the person you're inquiring about is somebody who is very stable, very grounded, they're very consistent, then this message could kind of be the reality of the long-term situation. If this person is inconsistent, they're changing their minds a lot, they're very emotional, then this situation could change, right? Just depending on where they're at emotionally, mentally, what's going on in their world. So just keep that in mind. All right, so I will see you at your piles. Bye. Hello, group number 1. You chose the Pyrite Heart and the Wise Dog Tarot. So we are going to be looking at if this person will reach out to you. I really love this deck, but it's been such a long time since I've used it. But it, you know, when I was looking through the decks, trying to figure out which ones to use in the reading, this one just immediately jumped out to me. So, will this person reach out to group number 1? Will this person reach out to group number 1? We've got the Queen of Wands in reverse. We've got the 4 of Pentacles and the Tower. So I want to see what happens after this Tower. Strength. Okay, what is this Tower? The Sun in reverse. What's the Strength? The Six of Pentacles. Okay. So the answer to me is yes, but it is going to take a while. Group number 1. The Queen of Wands in reverse with the Four of Pentacles tells me that either this is somebody who just is not confident, and they don't feel comfortable coming towards you, or else that they are waiting for you to come towards them. But this Tower moment really stuck out at me because, like, that's a huge change, right? And it's coming after all of this. Like, if the Tower moment would have come beforehand, I might have said that they would not have come, like, messaged you or contacted you, reached out to you. But it's coming after they've, like, refrained from doing so. And then, you know, we've got the Strength card, which is about holding on to things. But it's clarified by the Six of Pentacles. So I think that something is going to happen in their life, or they're just going to have kind of like an emotional crack where maybe if they don't hear from you for a while, they reach out to you. So this is a situation where I feel like there's either a lot of stubbornness involved, if this is like a family member, a friend, you know, an ex-lover, someone of the sort. They could be holding on because if they felt like, if the relationship got to a heated point or whatever, or maybe even if the two of you just have kind of grown distant, they're feeling this stubbornness of, well, I want group 1 to reach out. Group 1 should reach out. Group 1 needs to reach out. Especially if there was some hostility or tension between the two of you at some point. They might be thinking like, well, I'm not reaching out first. Like, they need to apologize, or I didn't do anything wrong. So for others of you, this might be just someone who, if they're really struggling to focus on their relationships, they might take the relationship that they have with you for granted, and it might take a while for them to recognize like, oh, I haven't heard from group 1 for a while. And when it's at the forefront of their mind, I think is when they will get the instinct to reach out to you. There is a strong connection here between the two of you. And sometimes the strength of a connection can be kind of what tears us apart, right? You know, if someone gave too much, the other person might just be used to receiving, and they might not have the awareness themselves that they need to return the gesture, return the interaction, you know, the care and generosity, the attention. If there is frustration there or hostility, you know, it's someone who's just really stuck in being in their own head, being in their own ways, and struggling to put their guard down and be a little bit more humble. But I do feel after a long period of time, this person really is going to reach out. They're going to reach out because either it clicks with them that they haven't heard from you. They get just incredibly impatient. Like, this person might bet on you contacting them first, especially if this is like a friend or an ex-friend or an ex-lover, where they might think like, well, group one doesn't want to lose me. Group one has feelings for me. Group one cares about me. Like, let me pull my energy away and they'll come to me. And if that's not done, I think that causes a panic in them. It could also be that something drastic happens in this person's life. They have to move, they lose a job, what have you. And if you guys haven't talked to each other in a while, for some reason, you're the person that comes to their mind to reach out to for support. So we'll see kind of what message this person wants to give to you when they do reach out. Okay, we've got the Two of Swords. Look how snowy it is, and there's a little moon right there. Oh, that's an owl. Okay. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. And we've got the Knight of Swords. In reverse. With the Nine of Swords. Okay, they're really going to get to the meat of the reason why it took them so long to contact you. For some of you, it's going to simply be the fact that they were struggling because they may have felt like they didn't have the ability to focus on a connection with you in the way that they wanted to. Whether this is, like an ex-friend, an ex-lover, even a parent, right? Because we have sometimes the vision of absent parents who love their children, but they're so focused on establishing their career. So this could even be about a conversation regarding like the reasons why your childhood was the way that it was. I think they want you to know that they never like forgot about you, but that they just didn't feel they had the mental capacity to focus on other things. A lot of their relationships may have actually struggled as a result of this. And they really had to focus where they were feeling most abundant. For a lot of them, it probably has been their career. This could also be talking about, for those of you where this is a situation where there was a lot of stubbornness and tit for tat kind of energy, where they are communicating what we talked about, that they did want to reach out to you. They did want to message you, but they were in their head a lot. They were feeling frustrated. They wanted you to take the higher ground, and that honestly they were holding back maybe because of they were scared. They were scared of the conversations that you might have. Maybe they were scared of the way that you would receive them. But I think also maybe, especially if you haven't talked to this person since an argument or haven't had a serious conversation with this person since an argument, they're kind of scared to revisit that, right? Or revisit wounds of the past. I want to see if there's anything more we can get about this Nine of Swords. The King of Cups in reverse, especially if they lashed out. If this person lashed out in emotions and they said some mean things, hurtful things, or just behaved inappropriately emotionally, they're in a position now where they can kind of, at the point when they call you or message you or whatnot, come visit you, they're at a point where they're starting to recognize that behavior for what it was, and they feel shame over it, and they're really intimidated to approach you because they're afraid of bringing that conversation up, which I think is why they may want you to message them first or to reach out, because they feel like maybe if you're the one that initiates it, then it shows you've gotten over it, and it might not be a conversation that we have to discuss. So let's get some advice from the universe, right? We're going to take this as advice for the time frame before you hear from them, which is the full moon in Taurus, and detoxify. Taurus is an element of hard work. It's also an element of pleasure because it's ruled by Venus. So the universe is really encouraging you, I think, to focus on how you can make your work and your leisure time more pleasurable. If you're fixated on what happened between you and this person, whether this is like a parent or a lover or a friend, the universe, I think, is kind of guiding you to like, yes, it's appropriate to review that situation so that you know, like, what behaviors were unacceptable, what upset you, observe how you handled it so that you can evolve through situations, if that makes sense. You know, so if you encounter, a situation where this happens again with somebody, you may have a different way that you respond. Whether that's like being more clear in your communication or setting up boundaries. Even with this person, if this person comes back and you're like, I don't want to just shove this to the side, like I want to confront this issue, the universe is saying like, yes, absolutely. Get clear on what it is that was problematic for you so that when this person comes back, like you can talk about it, but don't let that completely overshadow everything else in your life. If you're ruminating on this situation that happened that caused this no contact, or has caused like ruminating thoughts, then it's time to just kind of clear that energy and go, okay, we're going to be practical about this, but then we're going to set this to the side until the situation calls for me to readdress this, whether in different connections or with this connection, just so that you can live a happier life, and be more content with yourself. And for when this person returns, let's get a piece of advice. This was the first card that came out. Okay, I just wasn't quite sure if I was picking up on energy recommended for the other person or not. So first quarter moon in Cancer, push through any insecurity. So Cancer signs are signs that tend to be very healing. They're nurturers, but they can seem kind of cold on the outside, but they're very soft on the inside. So I think what this is saying is make sure to take care of yourself in this conversation, right? Like it's not all about the other person, especially if you've had a tendency to kind of forgive them or to let bygones be bygones, give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid to set limits. Don't be afraid to set boundaries, and be authentic, be genuine. Like I don't think the universe is encouraging you to turn this into a conversation where it's a competition, like who's right, who's wrong, like I win. We want to make sure that we like hear the other person out to an extent, depending on your situation. Because even then, sometimes it gives us a better perspective and it helps us relieve ourselves of some of the burden or guilt or frustration. There can be a variety of reasons why we want to actually have a dialogue and not just a lecture. But ultimately, when this conversation comes in, allow your guard to be down a little bit, okay? It might be triggering to hear from this person. You might feel defensive, but the universe is saying, like, You know, it's okay. This can be a really healing time for you. And allow yourself to express yourself without inhibition. Don't sugarcoat things, don't make yourself small, but also hear the other person out. Okay, so group number 1, I hope that this reading resonated with you. If it did, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to be a part of the family but haven't done so, you can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. If you're interested in a personal reading with me, I offer those. Just look for my contact information in the description box down below. Send me an email and I'll send you a list of my services. Bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose the Amethyst Stone and the Phantom Wise Tarot. So this will be your reading on if this person on your mind will reach out. Group 1's took a little bit of time to kind of figure out. So we'll see what comes through. Will this person reach out to group 2? Will this person, the Ace of Wands, okay. Will this person reach out to group 2? Will this person, the Six of Cups, will this person, the Ten of Swords, okay. Will this person, I'm not taking all those, sorry bud. Will this person reach out to group 2? So I do feel the answer is a resounding yes. The Ace of Wands just flying out of the deck like that tells me that this is going to be communication that comes in fairly quickly. And to me, it's an excited energy. The Six of Cups, this person, whoever you're asking about, really wants to make that connection with you. They're really excited to get to know you. They're really excited to catch up with you. The Ten of Swords, there's a little bit of, well, there's a lot of fear there. This to me speaks of this person having a lot of anxiety. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this is like a butt dial, right? Where the communication is accidental. But they really do want to talk with you. So they're kind of like embarrassed at first, like, oh my God, group 2 is going to think I'm so weird, or crap, I hope that doesn't freak them out. Or it could be that they send like a message that's kind of out of pocket, maybe a little goofy. And I think it's going to be, it may even seem a little premature, right? Like, even if this is a job offer, like, you may have expected to have to wait for this person to reach out to you, but they're very, very excited to have you on their team. And if it is a job interview, right? Like someone who could be employing you, they might be nervous because they really want you to feel comfortable in the environment. They want you to have trust in them as somebody who's hiring within the company, whether this is like HR or a boss. And especially if they're like newer to the position, right? Like, you may be one of the first people that they actually hire. This could easily be like a crush situation or a friend situation where this person is like, I really want to get to know group number 2. I want to invite them out. I want to like have fun with them. I want to connect with them, but they might be pretty awkward. I want to see what this Fool in reverse is about. The King of Pentacles. Okay, so that to me just speaks that they're a little bit concerned that you won't take them seriously. You might not take the job offer seriously, especially if there was a talk about wages. They may feel like they can't offer you the kind of wages that you deserve or that you're looking for, or maybe the hours that they have to offer you aren't really what you were talking about being in search of. They may be, if this is like a crush situation or someone who's looking for a friend, they may be nervous that their awkwardness would prevent them from developing something stronger and more committed with you. Like, this isn't somebody who I think wants to just like screw around, you know, or be non-committal. This isn't somebody who wants to just add somebody kind of like to their friend group that they see occasionally. Like, this is somebody who's looking for potentially a serious relationship, or somebody who is looking for a more constant friend in their life, especially if they're like newer to the area. So we'll see when they reach out what what they'll want to say, like what the message will be about. What kind of communication are they going to offer group number 2? We've got the Hermit in reverse. We've got the 10 of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Lots of Pentacles energy, especially for the fact that we started off with a Wands card. So it's, you know, the idea being that the communication is something creative, but wanting to be more consistent, more of a foundation, more solid. And we've got the High Priestess in reverse. So this is somebody coming to you with information. If it's a job opportunity, this is where they are laying down exactly what it is that they can offer you, right? They're really trying to amp up the benefits of working for the company. You know, any insurance packages they can offer, 401k, time off, PTO, all that kind of stuff. But they are also going to express some limitations that they have to place upon the role. Could be, you know, you have to work every weekend, or you have to work every other weekend, you alternate holidays, or you work the holidays. Could be there's no overtime pay. Could be that the hours that you wanted aren't available. Could be any number of things, right? Something that they feel like would maybe deter you from being interested in the position, but they've tried to establish like what it is. Like, these are great things, group number 2, that we can offer you. And then with the High Priestess in reverse, what that talks to me is like they're really gonna, you know, it's straight to the point, you know, and they want to know what your thoughts are. I think this is somebody who, if this is a job opportunity, they could be open to negotiation. I don't know how broad a negotiation would be available, but they're really looking for your input. If this is more of like a friend or a lover kind of person, this is somebody who really wants to invite you out somewhere. You know, they've probably scoped out like an event or a restaurant or an activity that they think you might be interested in. But there's also this trepidation that they have about offering it, right? Like, they may even kind of backtrack and say things like, oh, I don't even know if this is like your thing, if you would like this. You know, it's okay if you don't. Do you have any ideas? So either which way, this is somebody who's coming in with a plan. They're coming in with an offer, but they're nervous about it, and they really want to know what your input is as well. So let's get some advice. For group number 2. Okay. New moon in Libra. Know you are loved. So Libra is about fairness and balance. Okay. It's also a pleasure sign. So that speaks to me that, you know, if this is a job opportunity, really consider if it benefits you in the ways that you want it to. You know, if there are qualities that you're willing to sacrifice, then don't hold too tightly onto your expectations or your demands. But also don't be afraid to try to see how far you can budge, right? Like if there are certain things that you want to see, like can you get a little bit higher pay raise? Can you what, like, you know, switch to like just working one weekend a month? Maybe you can do a mixture of shifts, like you really wanted first shift, but okay, maybe are there certain days where you can have a first shift and then the rest you'll work second shift, you know, that kind of thing. At the end of the day too, regardless of how excited this person is to have you, and they are excited, like they do really care, but like they think you would be a great addition to their team, you have to take into consideration what would benefit you best. It could also just be talking about, like, even if there are things that you would have to sacrifice, this could potentially be a career position that would nurture you and value you. So it could be something that you enjoy in the long run and you stick with for years to come. It could just be kind of a stepping stone experience, and maybe you could find something that aligns more with your needs. But overall, I think that this job opportunity would be beneficial for you and would be a healthy work environment. For those of you where this is a friendship potential or a love interest, just know that this person does have like a genuine interest in you. They seem to like you for who you are. And it's totally okay if, you know, there's something you aren't interested in doing. You know, if you've been somebody who's given too much, this might be the opportunity for you to be a little bit more selfish in like what your expectations are and what your behaviors are, where you might be just like, I'm not really feeling that. If you're somebody who is kind of somebody who's used to things going more your way, you may want to take this as an opportunity to just explore someone else's interest. But this is a friendship or a relationship partner who could offer you more balance in your life. And then full moon in Aquarius. So Aquarius is an energy to me that speaks of like going outside of the boundaries, right? Somebody who knows how to make the rules apply to them in ways that maybe they weren't always intended to, or they're able to look at things from different perspectives. And so this might be a job offer or a friendship with somebody or a romantic interest that's outside of your usual type, but it could be something that really expands your horizons and offers genuine connection, but also like be real with yourself, right? Like if you've got limitations, if you're genuinely not interested, it's 100% correct. You know, it's the correct form of action for you to like express that. If this person is being too needy, just let them know, you know, what your boundaries are. And I feel like this is a person who, even if they would be anxious about that, they would respect that, right? Like maybe this is a person where it's like, yeah, they seem cool, but they're just a little too clingy or a little too needy. And so I feel like if you establish some boundaries with them, this has the potential to evolve, because they may just be somebody who's a little bit anxious and a little bit awkward, but as they start to become more familiar with other people, they start to be able to interact in a way that is more confident, right? And more laid back. So group number 2, I hope that this reading helped you. If it resonated, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to be a part of the family and haven't done so, just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. If you're interested in a personal reading with me, you can find my contact information in the description box down below. Just send me an email and I'll send you a list of my services. Bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose the Rose Quartz in the Ostara Tarot. We're going to get into the reading about will they reach out to you. So both piles have had a variety of scenarios. We'll see if yours is the same or if it's more selective, I guess. I don't think that's really the term I want to use. But let's get into it. Will this person reach out to group number 3? We've got the King of Wands in reverse, the 3 of Wands in reverse, Death in reverse, and the 4 of Swords. Okay, so group number 3, this person, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on your feelings of the issue, does not look like they are going to reach out. Once, like I said in the intro, if you watched all the way through it, because I don't always watch intros all the way, you know, the consistency of this energy depends on the consistency of the person we're asking about, right? So if this is a person who's behaviorally stuck in their ways, their pattern, like they have a lot of patterns, they don't change their mind very often, this energy could just be the way that it is indefinitely. If this is somebody who does change their mind quite frequently, or even if like some major life circumstance happens, then this could be just a temporary energy. We do have a card of rest here. Okay, so the 4 of Swords talks about healing from a heartbreak or healing from a struggle. You know, like you're injured, you're wounded, you're tired, you're exhausted, and so you're taking a break. So that could be because of circumstances that are outside of your connection, whatever kind of connection this may be, or it could be directly in relation to their connection with you. Like if this is a family member, a friend, a lover, you know, somebody from your past, they may just feel very worn out from the connection, or that circumstances in their life have just kind of depleted them. So the King of Wands in reverse really talks about somebody who is holding back their power. That makes me think this is an individual who knows they have the capacity to reach out, whether it's simply because they know how to contact you, or maybe because they know that you would be receptive to it. But right now they're not standing in that energy. They have really just kind of like dimmed the flame, and they've taken a step back. The 3 of Wands in reverse tells me that they don't either see the potential for expanding the connection, or they don't have an interest in expanding the connection. Once again, it may not necessarily be due to a disinterest in you, especially if this is like a partner, like a previous partner or a romantic interest. It likely just has something to do with either they're feeling very tired, or they just felt like maybe the two of you were incompatible. And the Death card in reverse tells me that there's no plans to change that. They're not really thinking of a future where they change their mind. This doesn't seem to be a temporary rest for them. It just kind of is something that they anticipate is the way that they'll keep things in the long run. I want to see, like, if we can get any information about what they're resting from. What's this Four of Swords card about? Six of Wands in reverse, a failure. So this does feel like a personal connection. Like, group number 2 felt like it could have like a professional quality to it, right? Like, there could be some work-related communication involved. This does feel like a more personal connection. Somebody that you would know on a more intimate level than like an employer or an institution. Although I could see if you had applied for like for college or something, maybe your test scores didn't pass the mark for them, or maybe even if this is a work related issue, they just may feel that you don't have the qualifications in order to really be beneficial to their team. For others of you, this just feels like someone where maybe there was a friendship or a relationship, even just, maybe something casual, and there was an attempt to make it work, but it feels like the attempt was unsuccessful. And so this person is just kind of like throwing in the towel and saying like, well, it is what it is. I just don't feel like this is going to go anywhere. So let's see what's preventing them from reaching out. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse. The Four of Pentacles in reverse. The Seven of Pentacles upright with the Two of Cups and the Sun in reverse. This person feels like it would just take too much effort to repair or to establish something with you. If this were like a job opportunity, they may feel like they have to prepare you for like extra training than what they normally would. If this is like for school, they may feel that you might not be able to keep up with the requirements of the curriculum. If this is like a personal connection, which is what I feel like it is for most of you, they just don't feel like there's enough here to build on that is within reach. They feel like they would have to just spend more effort on trying to create a foundation. So this may be somebody who is incredibly different from you, and they're just struggling to find common ground. This could be somebody that you were close with, but you may have had a huge falling out with, and they just don't feel at this time that there's any way to repair what has been damaged. This could be somebody who also is just prefers easier connections where things just click with people and they don't have to spend a lot of their own energy trying to create that relationship, trying to learn how to communicate with somebody. I don't think this is a person who is particularly interested in looking at relationships as ways to personally like grow, which can or cannot be a negative thing, right? Like, maybe this person is mature, right? They could be an emotionally healthy person, but they just are like, relationships are not where I'm putting my growth into. This could also be somebody who, when they do experience hardships in relationships, they may just have defenses that go up, and they may be very limited in their perspective and their ability to understand where other perspectives come from. So let's get you some advice, group number 3. Because for some of you, you may be like, oh, thank God. Like, I didn't really want that job, or I didn't really want to go to that school, or I didn't really want to reconnect with that person, and I was kind of afraid that they would reach out. If that's the case, you don't have to worry about it. For those of you, though, where like this is something that you wanted, it can be hard to hear that message. So let's get some advice. Okay. So we've got the full moon in Pisces with forgive. So Pisces is a very dreamy energy, right? And it's two halves of one whole. It's sometimes being too practical, and sometimes it's being too dreamy. So I think the universe, for one, is encouraging you to look at things from both perspectives, to be able to see like the practical situation, but also to see where there was potential, because I think it's important for us to acknowledge that. Like, sometimes when we get burned by someone or something, we can just kind of fall into this behavior mentality of like, oh, I was so stupid, I can't believe I thought that, blah, blah, blah. But there's a reason why, like, you wanted this to work. And we can take and I think that's just important to acknowledge, because it shows you like what it is that you're looking for, what makes you feel nurtured. And then, we have forgive. So this is a situation where you may feel very hurt by this person, especially whether it was because they're not going to reach out, or whether it's because of something that happened beforehand. Even if this is like a job opportunity, or an attempt at getting admitted into a university, like, we can become very bitter sometimes when we don't receive certain positions. And it's just important to recognize, like, even though this door may be closed, another one will eventually open. There are other opportunities out there. And the only way that you're going to fail is if you don't try, right? And forgiveness, just because this person may not be able to give you what it is that you need or that you want. And also, like, you may not be able to offer what they're looking for. And then we have new moon in Leo, shine. So Leo is all about, to me, like, taking the center stage. It's about being bold. It's about being glamorous. It's really about having confidence in yourself. And so this, to me, is very much giving the energy of glow up, right? Like, if this job opportunity fell through, or this college admission didn't go through, like, that's not an opportunity for you to look at yourself and go like, I guess I wasn't good enough. Find something else that aligns with your dreams. Like, you don't have to lower your expectations just because one avenue didn't work out. If this is like a personal connection, really nurture yourself and do self-care. Do things that make you feel good about yourself, right? Because it's very easy for rejection to kind of lower our sense of value, but we are the only ones that really get to determine what that is, Leos are kind of notorious for putting themselves first. Love y'all. Even though I got burned by 3 Leo men in my life. Still love Leos. Oh my God, I'm addicted. But Leos do have a tendency to put themselves first. And so this might be the time where you do that as well. So group number 3, I hope that this reading resonated with you. If it did, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you would Like to be a part of the family and haven't done so, you can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. And I am available for personal readings. You can find my contact information in the description box down below. Send me an email and I'll send you a list of my services. Bye.